Hello YouTube, this is the Bucket coming at you today with my Rohm, or whatever you want to call it, Model 66. This is a knockoff of the Colt Peacemaker revolver. Rohm is a company that was known in the early 60s for making very, very inexpensive / Saturday night special revolvers. A lot of them in 22, a lot of them in 38. And they were really, really stick-up guns. I mean, that's what they were. They were made out of pot metal. They just were not designed for long-term use, and they were inexpensive. And the Firearms Act of 1964 pretty much eliminated them from ever being able to be imported ever again. The Rohm Model 66 is a little bit different. It's kind of the heritage is really what these kind of got replaced by. But when you look at these are much better, much higher quality. The bluing is very, very okay, very decent. The lockup seems to be pretty good. There's a little bit of wiggle, but for these inexpensive 22 plinker guns, that's kind of what you'd expect. It does have a half cock, and that's how you can rotate, although it is kind of hard to find. There it is. Then you can rotate the cylinder. It has the extractor, just like the old Peacemakers do. And it was designed to be for those types of people that really didn't want... They wanted a gun to go out to the lake with and to teach their child how to use. And this was kind of the gun of the day to do that. They come in different barrel lengths. Mine's just a hair under 5 inches, which is kind of probably the standard length of the time. And these make for a lot of fun for plinking. You know, 22 rounds are relatively inexpensive, not a lot of kick. The original grips were plastic. These look to be aftermarket. They feel pretty good. There's a chip on it right here, which makes me think... If I look at the chip right there, then that might be wood. These may be wood, but again, usually you have those cheap plastic grips. Whoever owned this one before me, I think doctored the trigger, because the trigger pull of this particular gun is crazy light. I don't know if this would really be a safe firearm for a novice to play with, but they operate just like the revolvers of the time. There's a disassembly lever right here. You push in, it's spring loaded, and the center access pin will come out. At that time, you could take out the 22 long rifle cylinder. It's a 9-shot. I will tell you that I've done some research, and it looks like there are some 22 mag change out cylinders. I may do a little research to see if I can get one and see if I can get that. As far as the markings, it does have Rohm, RMHB, and then a German company, and then it says Model 66 caliber 22 long rifle. It does say made in Germany, but there's no import marks on this gun anywhere. There's your serial. There's some manufacturing marks throughout. Oh, wait a second. Nope. This does say Florida. So this is going to be post 1964. It was imported as a sporting target gun from then. So this is post 1964. I think the latest I've seen people talk about these being imported was 1986. And let's see how she shoots. Hello, this is the Bucket. Just came back from the range with the M66 Rohm single action pistol. We went out with the BDM and went out with this Rohm today, and these are fun little knockoffs of Peacemakers. These are designed to be fun little plinking toys. You know, maybe a non-gun guy goes out once a year and shoots these at the lake. They're just a fun kind of gun, inexpensive firearm, a lot like the Heritage Rough Rider, or to a lesser degree the Ruger Wrangler. Just inexpensive firearms, not really designed to be you know, something that you go out and play with a lot. Now, to operate this firearm, it is a single action, which means you have to cock the hammer each time. It's not double action. It does have a loading gate, so you take it one click, 2 clicks, and then you open up the loading gate, and then your cylinder will run free. I have a snap cap in there just in case I want to dry fire. Again, these guns do fire the 22 long rifle, which means that it is a rim fire firearm, which means if you dry fire it, the firing pin, which actually extends through here, will actually hit the cylinder and can break that firing pin. So you don't really want to dry fire these if you have to. You do want to make sure that you have a snap cap in there. This gun, and this is something that is good to kind of think about. The previous owner of this gun has done some doctoring to this particular firing mechanism. So this thing has a hair trigger. I mean, it takes nothing to get this going, and you want to keep an eye on that. Also, you will notice that if you look, there's a screw here, and you can adjust the front sight, the rear sight, and you can see that this rear sight is drifted all the way to the left, which I did not notice when I took it out to the range today. So I had a real hard time picking up that front sight. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and with that hair trigger, if you really know what you're doing and are a safe person at the range, it can be a lot of fun to play with. The Goat Whisperer giggled, and he just kept coming back to this firearm because it is fun, and it does have nice bluing, probably higher quality bluing than what you would see with a Rohm, with a Heritage Rough Rider pistol. When you are done shooting, you will need to use this lever right here to pop out your empties. They will stick in the gun, so it is kind of a fun battery of arms. I did a video on should you use this to teach your child about firearms. The battery of arms on this is so different, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but for a fun plinker, it was a lot of fun. If you see one of these really inexpensively at a pawn shop or something to think about. It shot flawlessly, but I had a really hard time shooting it, partly because that rear sight and partly because of this front sight. There is absolutely zero contrast to the rear and front sight. It was very, very hard to pick it up in that morning light today. Now, the UGD, my good buddy, he has a video about UGD 11 on the front sight. I'm going to kind of re-hit on that a little bit, and I'm going to do it in a unique, different way. So keep an eye out for that video. So as far as this gun, if you know what you're getting, you know it's a plinking toy. I definitely could see having fun picking this particular gun up. Do make sure you're checking that trigger to make sure it hasn't been doctored. Make sure to check the lockup to make sure that it's going to not shear the round when it goes in the barrel because it's too loose. And as always, you stay classy, YouTube.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.